The Arcturian Group, April 26, 2015. Greetings once again, dear ones, in this time of new beginnings. We come to bring encouragement and love to the many of you who are experiencing seeming discord, both within and without. Old ideas are quickly becoming obsolete and dissolving, but the new ones are not yet fully able to manifest personally and universally, leaving you confused. It may appear as if the world is functioning as usual, and yet you are finding that much of it no longer resonates with you in the ways you have come to know and expect. This is the confusion, and causes you to question yourselves. Never doubt or believe that you are simply making things up, are overtired, or just plain going crazy as change begin to take place within your awareness. Change signifies a consciousness that is expanding, often away from what is familiar or known. You are not consciously aware of how much is happening on other levels as you sleep, meditate, or simply go about your day. Human beings are programmed to analyze and mentally figure everything out, but this approach does not work with what is now taking place on deeper levels. The sense of separation with which mankind has lived lifetime after lifetime has manifested a world of much unnecessary suffering for many. The few who recognize the error of this concept have always been harshly silenced by the unawakened majority, and so the myth lived on. Thus sincere seekers became used to looking outside of themselves to those deemed more knowledgeable and trained in truth. But more often than not, were and still are told that man is tarnished, and must work his way back into the good graces of a God made in man's image and likeness through suffering and great effort. False teachings have never affected truth, but through lifetimes did affect your acceptance of truth. All experiences, many not so pleasant, resulting from this ignorance are important facets of your evolutionary journey, and have brought you to where you are now. There is no need for fear or doubt, dear ones, for you are on your way, whether you think you are or not. Leave behind those teachings that tell you that you must believe a certain way, or undergo specific ceremonies in order to be saved, or spiritual. It is time to understand that you are already saved and spiritual, and at no time ever have you not been. This is the sacred secret long hidden within each, where it was never suspected of being. You have always been an expression of Source. Your real self has never, nor could it ever, be separate from the one omnipresent divine consciousness, for that is all there is. Where would you come from? Evolution is simply the gradual process of remembering through lifetimes of stepping and falling, stepping and falling. Earth is a powerful and difficult school, but you will graduate very prepared as powerful beings of light. All is proceeding according to plan, and you are now ready to move beyond the stepping and falling part and come into the knowing. Spiritual readiness is always known and directed by the higher self, and you are being guided to and through each necessary step of your journey. This knowledge will serve to remove from you the burdens of trying to figure everything out mentally, and continuously seek. Many metaphysical books written in the past laid out definite practices necessary for spiritual growth. If you are drawn to certain practices, that is fine, for many of them were actually based in truth, but if you are not drawn to them, or if they feel old to you, then trust this and never think you have failed in some way because of it. Most of you have evolved beyond needing a lot of outer tools. Many, not all of the older books, were written for beginners who needed specific practices in order to awaken to new levels of understanding. There are still many who equate being psychic with being spiritual. Mankind's shift into higher levels of awareness is manifesting outwardly as many new and very evolved teachers. You will recognize them by the energy of their words. Be open, for they may present ideas of truth that at first seem strange. Many very evolved beings of light are now incarnating or choosing to be walk-ins, in order to help the many who are ready move deeper and higher, beyond what up to now has been known and taught. There is no need to figure everything out, just know that you are being guided. The monkey mind loves to dictate the spiritual journey with suggestions, ideas, and judgment, but remember the human mind can only access what is already out there in world consciousness, unless given more from deeper levels. You have moved beyond the mental stage, love it, thank it for its suggestions, and pay it no attention, instead choosing to listen, and be guided from within. Any unpleasant experiences you may be going through right now are simply old energies, concepts, beliefs, experiences coming forth to be noticed, interpreted on a higher level, and released. These experiences are signs that you are ready for the deeper truths that cannot integrate with the old still in place. Karmic situations needing completion are coming to a head for many. Diseases, irrational fears, and all sorts of issues considered to be problems in the third dimension, are presenting themselves to many very evolved souls, now spiritually able and ready to release them. Problems are never a sign of failure for a serious seeker of truth. When things seem to fall apart, recognize the experience as an indication of your readiness to look deeper and that you are now evolved enough to do the work. Never see yourselves or others as a failure based on outer appearances, for you may well be witnessing a very evolved soul who has chosen to work out profound levels of old energy in this lifetime. There are some tempted to deny problems when they appear, believing that this is the more spiritual way. Problems are not God-ordained, and therefore do not exist. This often becomes a trap for the serious student, because in reality this is the absolute truth, but the absolute cannot be lived and experienced fully until one has attained that state of consciousness. Know the truth of the absolute, but live out from your highest attained state of consciousness. Denial and resistance can solidify problems, for denial and resistance feeds them with energy. Never deny the discords in your life, but know that they have no real power other than the power you give them. We do not say that if you have concern over some health issue you must not visit a doctor, or that this indicates a backward step, for loving and dedicated help manifests, and is available on all levels. When problems hit. 1. Drop the picture and know the absolute truth. God never created this, so it was not made and has no law to support it. 2. Go within, asking for guidance and listening to your intuition. Answers may not come in that moment, but will manifest when you least expect, and in a way you did not expect. Never request a specific outcome concept, other than what is the highest and best for all. 3. Take whatever human footsteps you are guided to take. These steps help to remove the fear and resistance that gives so many problems the power they seem to have. You are moving into a new paradigm of living, emerging into an awareness of yourselves as powerful beings, butterflies emerging from lifetimes spent in heavy cocoons of duality and separation. The cocoon must be discarded no matter how familiar or comfortable it may have become, reflecting change with what you eat, the way you play, your work, and all things in life. You are experiencing a shift into the higher sense of ordinary things, which does not mean you must leave behind everything that is important to you, but means you must be willing for some things to assume a new place, evolving into something new, or perhaps being left behind. This way of being becomes automatic, as you begin to live attuned, always to the within. Do you wish to stay in what is known and familiar no matter how uncomfortable, or do you wish to move on to something new? Be not afraid, dear ones, for the spiritually new will always manifest in higher and better forms. You are not leaving anything real, you are coming to understand and experience these same things on higher levels. We are the Arcturian group.